Happy New Year and welcome to the extraordinary meeting of the New Year's Day meeting of the Red Bank Borough reorganization. Please rise for the flag salute.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sunshine Statement, please.
The minutes reflect that in compliance with Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, Open Public Meetings Act, the notice of this meeting has been provided by notifying the Asbury Park Press, the Two River Times, and the Star Ledger, with placing a notice on the bulletin board and filing same with the Borough Clerk on December 14, 2017.
Thank you. Can we have the roll call, please?
Councilman Taylor?
Here.
Councilman Whalen?
Here.
Councilman Ingstrom?
Here.
Councilman Ballard?
He is here.
Councilman-elect Ballard?
He hasn't been seated yet.
Councilman Zipperich?
Here.
Councilwoman Horgan? Here.
Okay, we're all present. May I invite Rabbi Mark Klein to please give the invocation. Rabbi.
In these days, it's difficult when we talk about mixing church and state, but since I'm a rabbi, it's only synagogue, so it's easy. But seriously, you know, it's difficult to talk about religion and politics, and yet at the same time, we know that it takes faith to lead. You have to have faith that you hold values that are meaningful to a community. You have to have faith that you have the stamina and the courage to serve. You have to have faith that there are those who will support you in the endeavor and stand with you, even when sometimes what you have to say isn't the popular statement to be made. You have to have faith to be able to stand in the trenches and take care of those who aren't being spoken for. When we elect people that we hope will hold these values sacred, so that when they are living their call to service in the community, they do it no differently than any clergy person who would stand in a pulpit, or any doctor who would walk into surgery, anybody who takes care of the needs of another person. And we've vested in our elected officials the faith that we have that they can be relevant and meaningful in service. So today, we invoke the source of all creation. We look at a new beginning on this New Year's Day. We look at the opportunity to bring new life, new conversation, new appreciation for the service to our Red Bank community. And while you have been sitting and you have served the community for so many years in so many ways, we look at a new mix at City Council. We look at an opportunity to hear the needs and to fill the voids and to grow our community from that which is into the one that's whole, for which we pray. So this new year, this time of renewal, each of our hearts is turned to the good, each of our hearts is turned to service, and each of our hearts is turned to appreciate the blessings of everyone here today and everyone who is spiritually here today who looks forward to the next term of a bright future, of great leadership, dedication, and devotion. The word amen in Hebrew literally means I agree. And my tradition teaches if the whole world said amen at the same time, that we would bring healing to the entire world. So this is the microcosm of the entire world. But asking God's blessings for those who are newly serving and for those who have been serving and continue in their dedication to our community, let's say amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much, Rabbi. I know we need a new sound system. Budgetary considerations. I want to welcome all of you once again as I started the afternoon But in a very particular way, I know that elected officials who are here today have gone out of their way to be in many different places. So your presence and unity with us is extraordinarily appreciated by everybody on the dais and also our guests. In a very special way, I want to welcome and call for the first time our newly elected state senator, Senator-elect Bin Gopal. Welcome. Many times before, is no stranger to Red Bank Assembly when you're going down well. And of course, the third person needs no introduction because he actually remembers his old seat next to mine, but it's always a pleasure to have Freeholder John Gurley in our midst. Who's here, who had the great privilege and honor of being our teacher and our mentor for many years, former Mayor Ed McKenna. Of course, members of the team who thought that they were retiring, but as soon as they retired from council, I took them back to work on our boards, not paying this time. So that would be Councilwoman Juanita Lewis, who's here. Good friend and classmate, Councilwoman Sharon Lee. Having gone through the formalities, it's my honor to invite Senator-elect Bin Gopal to administer the oath of office to returning Councilman Spencer. And the family is here.
Just turn around, take a picture of the audience.
Right there.
First, before I read the oath, I just want to make sure that I mention that, of course, we're here for New Year's Day, and I'm so happy to be with all of you. As I know, Eric would love to be right here right now. I'm sure he'll be here. He's going to try to come in here. But we all love Red Bank, and I know Senator Gopal is going to make a wonderful senator to help here in Red Bank, as well as our other towns. And I just want to wish everyone a very healthy, happy, successful new year. Please all be safe and have wonderful things for all of your families. So thank you so much. And now I get to swear in one of my best friends here in the Democratic Party, Edward Schlemmer. And it's a pleasure to meet your mom for the first time. I, Edward
Zipperch,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the office of councilman
of the office of councilman
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Having done formalities for Ed, welcome back. And it's my pleasure to invite Councilman-elect Michael Ballard, and the oath of office will be administered by our Senator-elect as well as the Senator.
One family.
No, you don't.
Love it, Michael.
Explain all those other people.
I think it's great.
In fact, it takes a village. No, this is Ballard, Michael's name. Our new councilman. Michael's in the middle there. He's in the men's room.
Sharon, stop heckling.
I know, okay. I usually do that at church.
Family out there?
Hey, you're all Eric. All right. Hey.
Now, everyone just wants to get it done. We can say a lot of things about you, Michael, but one of the things I want to just say is I'm so proud of you. And, you know, Ed's been here for a lot. We're always proud of him, but we're really, really proud of you for winning the seat. And we're looking forward to working with you here in Red Bank. Thank you so much for all you do. And now the oath. I, Michael Ballard,
I, Michael Ballard,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the office of councilman
of the office of councilman
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Michael, I should note that the family has been grown by one member. I saw it at the arrival of Assemblyman Eric Hotalo.
Michael.
You might get to sign it, otherwise it's all.
So make sure it's official. Yeah, I think so. It's not going to be fancy, but it looks good. And then just
What?
Are you monitoring?
His audio tape.
Mark.
Yes, thanks, Mayor. Mayor, fellow council members, Freeholder Curley, Senator-elect Gopal, Assembly members from County and Downey, honored guests, and my former running mates, Councilwomen Juanita Lewis and Sharon Lee. And a special shout out to my good friend, former Mayor Ed McKenna. Good afternoon and Happy New Year to you all. Congratulations to my good friend, Councilman Michael Ballard and his wonderful family. I couldn't be prouder to be sworn in with you today than I am right now. Neighbors, I am humbled and honored to be sitting on this dais as a representative of the people of Red Bank. The overwhelming support of voters in every district in this town showed us this past election day that hard work pays off. As candidates, Michael and I met our neighbors all over town and discussed quality of life issues that mattered to them as well as to us. We ran a campaign based on our commitment to our community and our love of Red Bank. I believe we can continue to keep our town visible, viable, and a destination through innovation and collaboration with our residents, business owners, and nonprofit entities. The young people of our community look to leaders to set an example, and our commitment to them is to help them reach their full potential, for they are our future. Red Bank residents deserve to see our green initiatives expand while incorporating adaptive reuse of our historic buildings and a firm commitment to smart growth development. We look forward to the opening of the T. Thomas Fortune Cultural Center in Fortune Square in 2018. In 2015, I started my third term, excited to work in a bipartisan fashion. And as colleagues, we worked together to hire a new planning and zoning director in Glenn Carter, a new public utilities director in Cliff Keene, a new information technology director in Matt Ryan, as well as a new recreation director in Charlie Hoffman. The mayor and the council members believed that these individuals would represent the borough fairly and competently to keep Red Bank moving forward, and they have. This talented team has helped bring about new solutions to running municipal government, which has enhanced our methods of doing the people's work here in Borough Hall. So thank you to that team. The new year poses new challenges for our town. This is the first time in over 2 decades that members of the governing body sit on this dais without our former borough administrator, Stanley J. Sickles. We are grateful to Mr. Sickles for his dedication to Red Bank, and I look forward to working with the professional staff as we chart a new course for our municipal government. Together with the mayor, my esteemed colleagues, we will lay out a roadmap for the future of the borough. I have great hope that we will enable and empower the dedicated Red Bank Borough employees to serve our community better, more efficiently, and frugally as we work toward the common goal of enhancing the services of local government, or the services local government provides to our residents and our business community. And I am proud to sit among dedicated public servants. Mayor Mena, Councilwoman Kathy Horgan, Councilman Eric Gingstrom, Michael Ballard, Mark Taylor, and Mike Whalen. We are a great complement, bringing varied skill sets and points of view to the table and all wanting what's best for the Red Bank community. I look forward to this new year to work with you all and achieve what the electorate has entrusted to us in our cool little town. I welcome Kendra Roberts and Joe Hartnett of Government Strategies Group and look forward to your input as we work together on Red Bank's future. And I'd like to give a special shout out to our Borough Clerk, Pam Borghi, and thank you for all you do to keep these meetings organized and equipped. Thank you to Doreen Hoffman and the Mayor's Office and Director Keene and the DPW team who truly get things done around town. You keep Red Bank working. Thank you to Chief McConnell and the Red Bank Police Department, Chief Jensen, congratulations, and thank you to the men and women of the Red Bank Fire Department. And a special thank you to the entire borough staff. There's so many to name, but you all know that you are the best. And then come the special thank yous. First, I want to thank my immediate family, JP, and our daughter Mary Kate, who had to go back to Boston today, for the consistent love, encouragement, and advice. My sister Jean picked up a lot of additional family responsibility in 2017. And she did that so that I could focus on Red Bank. And I thank her and her family for their understanding, love, and support. Our mom always encouraged all 4 of her children to be leaders and not followers. She turned 90 at Thanksgiving. And she's still leading the way in Patriot. So you know what, Mom, this one's for you.
Thank you.
Thanks to my Democracy for America friends, to Chairman Jim Dean and the national team in Burlington, Vermont, along with Aisha Moody Mills and the Victory Fund in Washington, D.C. Those organizations have inspired and supported me every time I've run, and I am very grateful. My gratitude needs to be expressed to all of our campaign workers and volunteers of the Red Bank Democratic Club. You truly are the best. And to our friend Chairman Dave Graham, my friends at the Monmouth County Democrats, thank you for your guidance and your tutelage. And thank you to the Assembly members and Senator-elect Gopal for being with us today. I look forward to working with everyone this year on our shared vision for Red Bank's future. And to quote a very dear friend, let's get to work.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So what I've learned in my brief foray into politics is going second in the speech. The first speaker sucks out all the oxygen. Thank yous have been made, but I do have a few remarks that I'll make very quickly and briefly. First of all, I'd like to thank my family, my immediate family, my wife Rose, my granddaughter Michaela, and my grandson Isaiah. The love that you've shared with me throughout the years is immeasurable, and you've been my rock for as long as I can remember. So thank you for everything you do for me, to support me, and help me be successful. Dealing with campaigns are tough on families. You know, it's long hours away from them, and I was lucky enough to have a family who not only accepted my campaign, but helped. Rose basically ran our door knocking campaign, and Michaela came out and knocked on doors as well in the pouring rain. So, and Isaiah was sick, but he offered. So thank you. I want to thank the many family and friends who are here from all over. As you see, I have family here from many parts of the country who made a journey in the very bitter cold weather to come up here and be a part of this special day for me. And I thank you. I thank you so much. You know, you keep me grounded. And you never let me forget where I came from. You know, my background has helped me get here, and you've been a solid part of that, so thank you. I want to quickly welcome the dignitaries that Mr. Zipprich has already thanked, Mr. Curley, our new Senator-elect, Mr. Ben Gopal, Assemblyman Eric Hotelling, and Assemblywoman Joanne Downing. Thank you for being here. And I apologize for anyone I missed. I want to thank my running mate, Mr. Ed Zipprich. Ed is not just my running mate. He's truly a friend. I've known Ed almost since the day I came to Red Bank, and before I ever thought about running for any elected office. Ed, you've been a true friend. You stood up at my wedding, and I love you. I appreciate everything you've done for me and my family over the last years. Thank you. I want to thank the mayor and council for accepting me to this August body. I'm honored and privileged to sit up here with you guys. And I look forward in the near future to helping move Red Bank forward in a collaborative fashion. So thank you for accepting me, and thank you for listening. I want to thank all the helpers out there throughout the town and other places for all their support in helping me get elected this year. And I'm not just talking about money donations, but there were people who put signs on their lawns, who helped knock on doors, who made phone calls, who did everything possible in the sweltering heat and 95-degree weather and pouring rain. You were there for me, and Ed, and I truly thank you. Thank you. Finally, I'd like to thank the residents of Red Bank in your amazing, overwhelming confidence in me to vote for me and put me up here and help lead your town, our town, the best town in New Jersey, help lead that town forward. And I look forward to the opportunity. So with that, again, thank you, and let's get to work.
Thank you, Michael. And speaking of getting to work, I think I'm going to get our fire officers to work. We next have the swearing in of fire officials. Gentlemen, we're going to do this individually, right? No. Collectively? Okay. Rest of the family? No? No? Well, they work as a team. So they do everything together. See that? I didn't mean it that way.
I got you.
But because of their unity in the field, they're going to get sworn in together as a team. Thank you. All right, so just repeat your names. I, J. Stewart Jensen.
I, J. Stewart Jensen.
Wayne Parkman. And F. Scott Calabrese. And I've known him for 30 years. I didn't know his first initial was F.
Calabrese.
Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of the office
all the duties of the office
of Chief, First Deputy, and Second Deputy,
Second Deputy,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, gentlemen, and next year we're going to And while they're signing, I know that we were jesting a little bit, but I've had the great privilege of knowing all three men for the greater part of almost 30 years now in different situations. And I've been with them when they were just starting. One of them was a former chief who's also tangentially related to me, and of course I tried to talk him out of coming back for the second time around, but he doesn't listen to me. However, I have to tell you, all three individuals and their colleagues are the real heroes of the Borough of Red Bank. The men and women of the Red Bank Volunteer Fire Department, the Emergency Management Service, as well as First Aid, Fire Police, as well as Scuba Team, are with us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They never get a break. And they do it because of their great love for those whom they serve, which are their neighbors. Many times they don't even know the people that they are serving, and they don't even know that those people who are the recipients of that benefit thank them because they're off to another call. But they do it at great personal sacrifice. And I want to thank their families and their loved ones for their continuing service. And I think they're going out to a call right now.
I think they'd be in a little more of a hurry.
That was called a filler while they were signing the oath. No other appointments. Let us move on to resolutions and appointments for calendar year 2018. The first is resolution 18-01, the resolution selects from the council its president, which would be Councilman Ed Zivich. Is there a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, Council President. I want you to know that comes with no additional stipend. Just more work. Okay. Resolution 1802 is a resolution authorizing the award of fair and open contract for professional services, and they are as follows. This is under the bidding process. For Borough Attorney, Gregory J. Cannon, Conflict Counsel, Daniel J. O'Hearn, Conflict Counsel, Martin Allen. Rent Leveling Board Attorney, Gene Anthony, Historic Preservation Attorney, as well as Construction Board Appeals Attorney, Lawrence Luttrell. Labor Counsel, Ronald Cucciaro of Wiener Leslie Act LLP. Borough Auditor, Fallon and Larson LLP. Prosecutor, Brian Wilton. Public Defender, Kevin Wigington. Borough Engineer, Gregory Valesti of CME Associates. Conflict and Special Consulting Engineer, T&M Associates. Conflict or Special Consulting Engineer, Mott McDonald. Bond Counsel, Glenn Goldman and Spitzer. Alternate Bond Counsel, Clark Walrath. Redevelopment Attorney, McManaman, Scotland Bauman. Redevelopment Planner, CME Associates. Redevelopment Engineer, T&M Associates. Architect Services, MMA Architects, Netta Architects, and DMR Architects. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We now have Resolution 1803 for the Council's consideration, a resolution confirming appointments for 2018. The following appointments are to be confirmed at the Council's pleasure for 2018. Municipal Clerk, Information Officer, and Registrar are Stellar Pamela Doherty. Director of Finance, Treasurer, Chief Financial Officer, Qualified Purchasing Agent, Eugene Nicolos. The Director, Superintendent of Public Works, as well as Parking Community Development Representative, Clifford Kane. Administrative Officer, Director of Planning and Municipal Housing Liaison, Glenn Carter. Director of Senior Citizen Center, Jacqueline Reynolds. Municipal Coordinator of the Office on Aging, Stephen Hecht. Council Representative of the Senior Citizen Center, Eric Youngstrom. Council Representative of the Municipal Housing Liaison, Michael Ballard. Health Officer, David Henry. Human Resources Manager, Eva Viviano. Director of Parks and Recreation, Charles Hoffman. Municipal Judge for a 3-year term to expire 12/31/2019, the Honorable Frank J. LaRocca. Court Administrator, Kathleen Gerber. Deputy Court Administrator, Susan Miles. Tax Assessor, Mitchell Elias. The Tax Utility Collector, Tax Search Officer, Ashlisha Deshpande. The Chief of Police, Darren McConnell. Administrative Secretary, Department, Deputy Municipal Clerk, Bonnie Thomas. Administrative Secretary, Doreen Hoffman. Clean Communities Coordinator, Alternate Community Developments Representative, Maria Rotolo. Acting Fire Marshal, Thomas J. Welsh. And Acting Construction Official, John Drucker. With respect to the Red Bank Emergency Management Committee, the coordinator will be Thomas J. Welsh, with members Michael Frazee, Chris Soden, Alan Soden Jr., J. Stuart Jensen, Darren McConnell, Eric Ovescio, Alan Soden, Joseph Forgione, Riverview Security Supervisor, Clifford Kane, Jacqueline Reynolds, Pamela Borghi, Matt Ryan, Joe Fagiolore, and Eugenia Polis. Board appointments by the Mayor to the Planning Board, Class 2 member Thomas J. Welsh. Class 3 member Michael Ballard. Class 4 member Juanita Lewis, and Class 4 member Barbara Boas. Alternate member number 1 for a term expiring 12/31/2018, Azim Yassin. Alternate number 2 for a term to expire 12/31/2019, Michael Lettieri. The Mayor's alternate for a 1-year term to 12/31/2018, David Cassidy. And the Secretary for 1 year to 12/31/2018, Dina Anastasio. Appointment by the Mayor with consent of Council to the Environmental Commission for a 3-year term, Patricia Pinto. Also for a 3-year term, Boris Kaufman. Alternate number 2 to 12/31/2019, Michael Paul Raspanti. Council Representative for 1 year to 12/31/2018, Mark Taylor. To the Environmental Commission committees, The green team, Daniel Chirulo, Lauren Janulo, Sean Walsh, Gail Hallett, Jonathan Macedo, Kristen Bonakitis, Pat Pinto, Leslie Martin, Ann Kelterborn, Matt Hirschberger, Mark Taylor, Charles Hoffman, and Cliff King. To the creative team, I like this team, Pat Pinto, Mark Taylor, Kate Okeson, Monica McCall, Eileen Kennedy, Stephen McMillan, Joseph Delico, Gary Sapphire, Dorothy Furlani, and John Arcara. To the Zoning Board of Adjustment for 4 years, 12/31/2021, the returning chairperson, Lauren Nicosia. 4 years to 12/31/2021, Richard Angowski, alternate number 1 for 2 years to 12/31/2019. Kellen Murphy, alternate number 2 to 12/31/2018. Sharon Lee, alternate number 3 to 12/31/2018. Stephanie Albanese, alternate number 4 to 12/31/2019. Kate Trugiano, secretary for 1 year to 12/31/2018. Dina Anastasio. Parks and Recreation Committee, for 3 years to 2020. John Lefevre, 3 years also to 2020. Kelsey P. Richardson, 3 years to 2020. Adrian Bilal, 3 years unexpired term to 12/31/2019. Rose Sestito, alternate number 1, 2 years to 12/31/2019. Lindsay Prato, and council representative for 1 year, Eric Yates. The Board of Health for 3 years, Judy Junta, as well as secretary for 1 year, Pamela Borghi, and council representative for 1 year, Mark Taylor. The Construction Board of Appeals for alternate electrical subcode for 4 years. Boy, this is really exciting stuff. Donald Clare, alternate fire protection subcode to 12/31/2021, Richard Hogan, and secretary for 1 year to 12/31/2018, Dina Anastasio. To the Library Board for 5 years to 2022, Suzanne Viscomi. Mayor's alternate for 1 year, Ann Chevatoni, and council representative, Kathleen Horton. Human Relations Advisory Committee, the chair for 3 years to 12/31/2020, David Pascal. 3-year reappointment to 2020, John Paul Nicolaitis. The police representative for 3 years, Captain Michael Clay, and council representative for 1 year, Councilman Michael Whalen. To the Historic Preservation Commission, 3 years to 2020, Michaela Ferragine. 3 years to 2020, Barbara Boas. The 3-year unexpired term to 12/31/18, Dr. Christopher Fabricant. The alternate number 2 for 3 years to 12/31/2019, Roseanne Del Prat. And council representative for 1 year to 12/31/2018, Edward Ziffrich. To the Shade Tree Committee, 3 years to 2020, Debbie Marks, as well as a 3-year term to 2020 for Doris Kaufman, the council representative for 1 year, Eric Yingstrom. By council nomination to the Rent Leveling Board for 3 years, Debbie Marks, as well as 3 years, Nicola Bowers, alternate number 1 for 3 years, Joan Rothwell, alternate number 2 for 3 years, Judy Junta, secretary for 1 year, Dina Anastasio, and council liaison member for 1 year, Kathleen Horton. To the River Center Board, my representative for 1 year, Arthur B. Murphy, council representative for 1 year, Edward Ziprich, citizen representative for 1 year, Debbie Marks, and citizen representative for 1 year, Cassie Murphy. To the Navasink River Municipalities Committee for 1 year, Carol Popper, 1 year also, Roy Meyer, and council representative for 1 year, Eric Yingstrom. To the Housing Authority for 5 years to 12/31/2022, Carrie Dad Santiago. To the Shrewsbury Avenue Advisory Committee for 1 year term, Frank Corrado, Ed O'Neill, Kate Okeson, Lance Van Glen, Juanita Lewis, Vanessa Blackchampton, Sharon Lee, Jesse Garrison, and Mark Taylor. To the Riverside Avenue Front Street Rehabilitation Committee for 1 year, Dan Mancuso, Eric Yingstrom, Yvonne Scudieri, David Huber, Judy Anthony, and Michaela Ferragine. Council committees are appointed for the calendar year 2018 as follows. Finance and Personnel, Michael Ballard, Chair. Members Mark Taylor and Edward Ziprich. Public Safety, Police and Fire, Michael Whalen, Commissioner. Members Kathleen Horgan, Michael Ballard. Public Utilities, Street Lighting, Garbage, Water and Sewer, Edward Zipperich, Chair, Eric Kingstrom, Michael Whalen, members. Code Enforcement, Environmental Control, Health, Welfare, and Buildings and Codes, Mark Taylor, Chair, Eric Kingstrom, Michael Ballard, members. Parks and Recreation, Eric Kingstrom, Chair, Kathleen Horgan, Michael Whalen, members. Education and Technology, Kathleen Horgan, Chair, Edward Zipperich, Mark Taylor, members. And Parking Committee, Eric Kingstrom, Chair, Edward Zipperich, and Kathleen Horgan. Those are the appointments with respect to Resolution 18-03. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? I'm going to ask the members, because I've been talking for so long, that they consider Resolutions 1804 through and including Resolution 1813, which will be a resolution confirming time and place for meetings, a resolution designating newspapers to receive public notice, the 2018 temporary budget, the cash management plan, the resolution designating human resources manager, the resolution authorizing creation of change funds, the resolution authorizing borough administrative open accounts, the resolution designating depositories, and the resolution fixing the rate of interest to be charged on accounts, as well as resolution 1813 authorizing borough treasurer to open an account for making payments. That since they are administrative, that they be considered en masse with one resolution. Is there a motion? Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Then we get to Resolution 1814, the resolution approving the protocol for borough council meetings. This is a new matter that was introduced last year, I believe, and since it is a new type of resolution, it's being offered again for council's approval, which limits certain types of regulations during council meetings as part of the public presentation. Is there a motion on the resolution? Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution's adopted. That would be the protocol for the council meetings in 2018. Next is Resolution 1815, a resolution appointing an interim administrator, essentially an administrative team, because of the absence of an administrator full-time. The resolution is as follows. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Red Bank that Kenneth Roberts, was sitting at the dais, of Government Strategy Group, is appointed as interim administrator effective January 1st in accordance with a proposal dated December 28, 2017, and be it further resolved that Joseph Hartnett, also a very well-recognized former administrator in many municipalities in New Jersey and an associate of the firm, is appointed as acting interim assistant administrator, and that be it further resolved that Clifford King is appointed as acting interim administrator for purposes of day-to-day function. Is there a motion on the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No. I'm sorry? No. Oh, okay. Any discussion or roll? Okay, roll call. Roll call vote.
Councilman Taylor?
No.
Councilman Whalen?
No.
Councilman Yingstrom?
Yes.
Councilman Ballard?
Yes.
Councilman Zipperich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Horgan? Yes.
Okay, the resolution is appointed. Are there any other resolutions to be added based on the need?
I heard your name, but I didn't make
Get the popcorn out. Actually, I'm not going to be that long because I've been told that the public address system is not working well. So count your blessings as my New Year's gift to you. But I just want to start again by, the public officials have been thanked already, and you know our appreciation. I see that Chairman Brown is here also. And I already thanked the fire department brass, but I also want to say once again that the fire department, police department, public works employees, some of whom are here today when it's a holiday, as well as the other employees of the borough at 90 Monmouth Street, as well as public works, are the unsung heroes of this municipality. They make it function. They, despite enormous challenges and in many times with understaffing considerations, but they do Herculean efforts, and they frankly serve the public extraordinarily well, and I want to thank them publicly. But they also they also make us look good. So thank you. As well as all of our professionals who were on the dais and in the courtroom. I noted Greg Gillespie and Laura, as well as Dave Samuels, and Greg is Cannon this year, but all of the professionals, without mentioning, thank you for all that you do for the Borough of Red Bank. I would be remiss, and I know it's been mentioned earlier, but there are two people that I sort of have a little bit of a tear in my eye for right now. One is that I'm looking around the room and I know how much this person really has loved, despite the slings and sorrows of challenges, and despite the modern ability of people to comment on public media forums that are uncontrollable. But for 38 years, this man, Stanley Sickles, has devoted his life to Red Bank, and it's a token of his love for us that, this is the first time in 21 years that I've been here that he has not sat on the dais as the administrator. But I didn't think he wanted the day to go without recognition, because he's not on the dais, but he's in the room watching us to make sure that we learn from him. And Stanley, thank you. That's all I have to say. I know a lot of you guys like to blog out there. Just get it right if you're going to blog something about this meeting. He is here in a private capacity as a citizen. I don't want you to start telling the Division of Pensions he came back in through the door. He is not working today and he's not getting paid. But thank you for being here. The other person who is not here, and I briefly spoken to John Ward earlier, is, you're in public life, and every other Wednesday night, you have certain people that are with you at every meeting. And it's the remaining members of the press corps, those who cover the meetings. And they get to be part of your family, and like part of your family, sometimes you're mad at them, and sometimes you love them. But you can't ever forget them, whether you love them or you hate them. One person who's not here with us, and it's the first time in 16 years that he is not with us, is John Burton from the Two River Times. John has been at every reorganization, and he comes to our council meetings when he can, but he is at Riverview Medical Center. He's got some serious medical issues. I was fortunate to spend a couple of hours Christmas Eve with him. Christmas Eve afternoon I visited with him, and he said he misses all of us. And I said, we're praying for you, John. And he goes, well, I pray for you, for Red Bank and for you guys. So John Burton, who is not here today, is here in spirit, but it's the first time in 16 years he hasn't been with us. So I hope John is hearing this, but we love him and we're praying for him, we're rooting for him to come back as soon as possible to our section. 2017 is over, and as Greg Cannon said to me at 1 o'clock when he saw me in another town, he says, I know you're going to write a 3-hour speech. He didn't take me to the reception, and then I wouldn't have written a 3-hour speech. But 2017 is over, 2018 is upon us, and we have a lot of work to do, and as has been said earlier, we're going to do it collectively. This has always been a very civil situs, and we will continue that. It has to continue, because we all work for the same goal, and that's for the residents of Red Bank. We have some unfinished business, obviously. The big elephant in the room is obviously White Street parking, and those issues were debated and discussed and will continue to be somewhat debated and discussed, but I think we have to have a plan. We will have a plan in terms of responding to the needs of the municipality, and we will do so as a unified body, in my opinion. I think we've been through a lot of focused meetings with the help of our redevelopment attorney and our planner, and also our own in-house planner too, Glenn Carter. But I think that, as I indicated earlier, a number of considerations have to be taken into consideration, and we will diligently work on that. And that is, my personal reflection is number of basic tenants, no cost to the taxpayers. The end game has to be increased inventory, increased parking. I personally prefer a manageable mixed use to enhance livability in our downtown. And also, the last tenet is the tenet that we started with in the beginning, that is, it has to be appropriate to scale, as well as the circumstances which dictate development patterns in central business district. Now, on the administrative end, we don't have an administrator. We went through a search process, and the qualities that we were looking for were just not there. And I'm confident that with Kendra Roberts, as well as Joe Hartnett assisting us in greater efforts, we will be able to very shortly focus on a person. Meanwhile, the work of the borough continues to be done. It will be done on a regular basis, part-time, by Joe and by Ken, who are eminently qualified, well-recognized professionals in the state of New Jersey by their peers and by others, and I am certain that the two of them, in conjunction with the day-to-day administrative assistance provided by the Director of Public Utilities, will keep the borough of Red Bank safe and standing. I say that because under the law, as the Senator-elect knows, in the absence of an administrator, unfortunately, the mayor has to put in all the time. And at $7,200 a year, it comes out to about 12 cents an hour. But we're happy to do it. If it is even 12 cents an hour, you're right, Ed. But we will get to it, and I think it'll be done a lot faster than people think. But we just needed the right focus, the right person, man or woman, that is just the right fit for Red Bank, and if you will get there. Our goal continues to be to work with our partners in the Board of Education. I know a number of members are here to work for the kids in making the Red Bank School District and system, the public school system, first among equals. And it is already there. And in that endeavor, we work very collaboratively with them with the access road for security concerns. We will continue. We pledge to work very closely with our incoming state senator on funding issues, which are still disproportionate to our needs and also to our circumstances. And the council is united on that. We will work for the full funding, which is necessary, and also perhaps review the status of our funding in as much as our statistical data is at variance with what the state has in terms of funding purposes. We will hope to be establishing a resiliency guidelines for the borough of Red Bank as we move forward in a new generation, to work very closely with the Environmental Commission as well as the Green Initiative, and also perhaps even with energy consultants to utilize the resiliency formula that is out there, that has been now starting to be utilized in many other municipalities, especially in North Jersey, which is leading the initiatives. I am very grateful for the extraordinary talent that I was able to tap with the Riverside Avenue Front Street Citizens Initiative, where citizen members have been appointed to our committee that has been reviewing some proposals that may transform in a very positive way the entrance to our municipality and provide greater opportunities for housing initiatives as well as access to our natural vistas along that river. The team is working very, very closely with our in-house planner and the property owners, and I think we'll be able to create some suggestions to the council in the early part of the year. Same thing with the Shrewsbury Avenue Redevelopment Committee for streetscape improvements. We've been talking about this for a long time. We finally have a methodology, and we're working with the county and the committee together for streetscape enhancements that not just do not just include lighting and streetscapes, but the type of activity and the type of livability concepts that I think we really need for what is, in fact, one of our strongest traffic corridors in town, that is a great opportunity not just for commercial endeavors, but also for livability purposes. So I think they all blended together. Through the assistance of Kendra Roberts as well as Joe Hartnett and his team that now have been reviewing our internal operations at 90 Mount Street. Frankly, it's the first full review in 30 years. And it's been an eye-opener. It's been a critical review, but good and necessary, and we're all committed, since we wanted it done, to follow through on some of their final reports and considerations, because I think it prepares the town for the future. And as a result of that, I think that they will be making some recommendations as early as this coming month. Some of the other things that I think we're looking at in the early part of the year is obviously, after a long delay, the final moving forward on the puppy and kitten mill ordinance ban. The parking regulations in terms of new concepts of dealing with the parking issue as it impacts our residential neighborhoods in the theater area district. We have to take a look at that. We have to come up with something creative that works for the residents as well as makes sense financially for the municipality. We hope to, at least I hope to move forward on a limited transit village designation for the immediate area of the train station, because frankly, it's the only way we can avail ourselves of substantial and permanent funding from the state in terms of infrastructure improvements. And this is something that we started a trial balloon many years ago, and it didn't go anywhere, but it's absolutely critical because it's the only way we can get the additional funding for not only streetscape maneuverability, as well as traffic patterns, water and sewer lines, as well as other utilities that have to be addressed. So we have a new administration. The new administration is committed to making transit-friendly villages available to greater funding, so we'll look at that. I hope to engage the services of an actual grant writer or grant writing firm like other towns have been doing, because frankly, when you compare what Red Bank has been able to get in terms of grants over the past 10 years, although it's been very generous, it really pales in comparison with what smaller municipalities have been able to do. The only way they've been able to be successful because they've actually had people who do nothing but do these grant formulas for the entire municipalities, and to engage not just the police department in it, but also public works and every other department, because they are out there. We just need professionals to be able to do this. So we have to spend a few bucks to get a lot of money back. A couple of things that I think have been probably underreported but are critical. There was a lot of critical writing when the council adopted its water meter upgrades for our services. It was something we hadn't done in 25 years. There was a lot of criticism. But now that the system has been at least incorporated in our overall financial plan as well as water resources, we are finding out that we probably should have done it 25 years ago, because it actually has identified fault systems in not only the financial accountability and reporting, but also in terms of the mislabeling of certain provisions to some commercial providers. And so it's going to equalize at the end of the day what everybody pays for their water system, because it is accurate, and we've actually located the shortfall that we've had for years in many instances, and so we're moving forward with a full report on that. And I think it actually will pay for itself in the very near future to replace that system that was anachronistic, outdated, and 30 years old. We have to address DPW facilities. I know that Cliff, as well as his team, has been saying forever, and frankly, I know Mayor McKenna was here earlier, but I remember when the facilities at the DPW facilities were represented to the public to be a short-term part-time solution to the problem of the DPW facilities which were falling down. That was 25 years ago. So that's a long, short term. And they're still there, except that the trailers were supposed to be only in use for a couple of years. We rented them initially, then we figured, well, let's buy them, because it was a good deal, because we got them on the depreciated rate, because they were used trailers at that point. So the idea was to keep them for a few years. 25 years later, we still have our public works facilities in trailers that are woefully inadequate for working men and women. But as part of that, we're also going to do a capital look at the future of public utilities and also the services that we provide to make sure that whatever we do, not only from a physical plant, but also from an administrative plant, will be productive and ready for us to meet the challenges of the future and not deal with what we were dealing with in the 1960s and 1970s. So it'll be a complete review, but a part of that will have to be that we have to finally get rid of the temporary structures that were placed 25 years ago and move forward to full structure. We look forward to continuing dialogue with any of our municipalities and shared services and agreements of any type. We're not afraid of that. And, you know, frankly, from municipal court to anything, emergency services to, we welcome our municipal partners, other municipalities to join in, because I think that we are good partners for that. And I think shared services save everybody in the final analysis. I want to thank Eric for moving forward, hopefully getting a final report to us on Marine Park upgrades and the finishing of the repairs, and also the planning considerations for goes out there. Similarly with Sunset Avenue. Again, there's a lot of diatribe on this, but the end of the game is we're going to be getting for future generations a 6-acre state-of-the-art park for a neighborhood that needs access to the river, that is entitled to the same type of quality waterfront access as other neighborhoods in this town. And what better way to do it, frankly, to get the state to pay for it, and they are paying for it. So we owe that to our residents, despite the challenges of the uncertainty of whether the methodology is appropriate or not. But I have to thank Christine Ballard, I know who's here, who's worked on this and gotten a lot of criticism for a long time for putting up with the years of the environmental remediation. I see it all over the state. I know that Dave Samuels is here, who's the genius up in Middlesex County of doing the same sort of thing in his municipalities there. But the remediation of what is going on at Sunset Park has been done successfully and safely in Middlesex County, in Sayreville. It's been done in Jersey City. It's been done in the Meadowlands. It can be done in Red Bank. And Red Bank residents are just as entitled to have a state-of-the-art, state-funded recreational center as any other place in New Jersey. So I discount the criticism completely. Same thing with Locust Avenue. We're finishing up the Locust Avenue remediation in terms of what that is going to look like. And I want to thank Ed for his leadership and getting me together with the Historic Preservation Committee on what proposals that will be formulated before the council for the Washington Street Historic District to change some of the framework for the historic designation of the structures, but add a component of tax relief for those who incorporate those. And I think it's a carrot situation that could help in terms of people getting to understand and to join in the whole mandate of historic preservation. Because I think that the district itself is a success. It just has to be added on to that success, and I think we're ready to do that. So, as we enter the new year, I just want to thank you all for all of your interest as well as your support. I want to thank my colleagues on the council and my new colleague on the council for your support, friendship, and encouragement. I know that it's been difficult sometimes. We have to listen to a lot of things, including the mayor talk for an hour and a half. But at the end of the day, I think that our dialogue and our interaction with our public to attend the meetings, I think, is helpful. We are always, at the end of the day, respectful of the opinions expressed. We try to anyhow. And we move forward because it's the right thing to do, but I think that we have an obligation to keep Red Bank relevant. We have an obligation to keep it competitive. We have an obligation to undertake new initiatives, even if they seem challenging, because I think we have to do that to meet the challenges all around us. And at the same time, I think we can be creative in terms of new development, but at the same time, keep in mind our perspective in terms of historic preservation. And I think that none of those things are inconsistent. The only thing it takes is a desire for hard work, and everybody on this dais has worked hard, and support of our residents. As I keep on saying, the age of Peter the Great has long been over. We just can't lead into a battlefield and expect people to follow us. We have to have them as our partners in that charge, and we have to move together and not ahead and not behind, but as part of one unified team. So, Happy New Year to all of you, to your friends, acquaintances, family, loved ones, and even strangers. And God bless you all, and God bless Red Bank. Thank you.
I just wanted to thank you for acknowledging former borough engineer Christine Ballard, who's here. There's also the former Staten Island borough engineer Bill Britton, who's here with my family, and former Councilwoman Amy Humphreys and Councilman Chris Hillman from Quebec.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, really quick, can I have 2 minutes? Sure. Thank you. I want to admit to my first blunder as a councilman here. I kind of ran through my thank yous pretty quickly, but there are 2 people out in this audience who deserve special recognition from me, and I want to take a minute to recognize them. In the audience today is my brother John Ballard and my mother Vivian Ballard. Served in the military for about 7 years, and then he came home and served on the Neptune Township Police Force. He's currently retired. John is a special person to me for so many reasons, and it's literally because of John that I'm sitting here today. So I want to express my deepest gratitude and love for my younger brother, who I fought with mercilessly. I'm surprised both of us have lived this. But John, thank you so very much for being my brother. I love you. And most of all, I want to thank my mother, Vivian. My mother is a rarity in today's society. She spent her entire career working one job for one employer. And I can't even count how many years it is. But she started out as a nurse's aide at Marlboro State Hospital, now the former Marlboro State Hospital. And through educating herself, she put herself through school to obtain an RN and become a supervisor at Marlboro. And forgive me, Mom, if I forget the other many positions that you held in the hospital, but you were there forever. And once Marlboro closed down, they actually moved her up to Trenton and helped her with services for administration. So, Mom, I don't know how you raised us by yourself. You did everything you could to give us everything John and I needed. You made sure we wanted for nothing, and we did want for nothing. So I want to thank you personally from this dais and honor you for being you. Thank you very much. Who wonders truly who I am, it's because of the 2 public servants also, that I continue the tradition and serve the public here in Red Bank. So thank you again.
Those remarks are always welcomed in this building, you know that. Rabbi Klein.
In that spirit, I was just telling Stanley Sickles that we've only been here for 3 years, and we appreciate the many dignitaries that have been named, which includes all the residents who have made this the city that my wife and my daughter and I wanted to move into, and have loved living in for 3.5 years. We look forward to many years of service. So tzedek tzedek tirdof, in Deuteronomy, the text is righteousness, righteousness, you'll pursue it. Usually it's translated as justice, but there's a status beyond what we know the law is to a place where we know humanity should be. And we live in a community that is incredibly diverse. People who come from all different walks of life, from different nations, from different backgrounds. And our prayer is that this is a community that is safe and secure for everyone who resides within the city of Red Bank. This borough is sacred space for all of us who call it home. And we are blessed with people who are dedicated to having the conversations, to doing the work, to making sure that it can stay sacred for everyone who resides here. So we again invoke all that is holy in each of our traditions. Assalamu alaikum, shalom, salve, peace be upon everyone. We pray that this new year is a year of peace, the dedication that our servants who live here, who serve here, who walk our streets, who take care of everybody in our midst, who look after our neighbors. May this be the community that sets the light ablaze for the rest of the world. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Rabbi. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Second, all in favor? Okay, we are adjourned. Shine House.